Hello, beautiful moms and entrepreneurs. My name is Charisse Walker, and I'm your host of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. This is a place where we come together to learn, grow, and inspire. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Hello, Unbreakable Mompreneurs. Welcome back to another episode. My name is Charisse Walker, your host, and today we're going to talk about how to build your business and what you need to do. There's specific steps, and we're also going to have a great story of success. So Jeanne Omlor is in the house with us, and she is going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, but I love somebody who's actually done it, and now she can teach it. So without further ado, would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Sure. Nice to be here, Charisse. I'm Jeanne Omlor, and I am a mom, a solo parent, I like to say, of two lovely teenage daughters, and I have been on my own with them for 14 years now. And I managed with a lot of, not all smooth sailing, let's just put it that way, to crack the code. 6 years ago, I was already 54. I'm 60 now. I don't care about people knowing my age. And I was in broke, deep debt, no money, no savings, no nothing, zero but debt. And I figured out how to get online and get clients with organic marketing. And I became a millionaire in 17 months of stepping online at 92% profit. Yeah. So that's kind of the sort of story that got me from, I was already had a business, but it just wasn't going how I needed it to go. So that's when everything changed and I could just help a lot more people also learn how to get clients without ads or having to go to networking events and stuff like that.
All right, so let's break that down because $1 million is a lot to people who have not made it, right? And to people
Yes,
who have, it's like once you hit that million, now it's easier to scale, is what I've heard.
it is. Yes.
But how did you do that? Because 17 months is not very long, and
Mhm.
I know people that have been struggling for years. And so
Mhm.
what were the first steps that you did to figure out what your purpose is and what you're trying to promote and sell?
Okay. First of all, I was one of those people that struggled for years. So it's not like I had already been a coach for 8 years.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't want people to feel bad, like, oh my gosh, you got to be a coach. And that's not the right story. And I know people tell that story, but they leave a lot of stuff out. I think out of fairness, I've got to take you through the actual facts. I started a coaching business 13 years ago, and for 8 years, it did okay. And it was all about networking and speaking and meeting people and all sorts of networking and more speaking and getting out there and chamber of commerces and just a lot of hustle. And it worked okay in New York because there's a lot of buyers there. Okay. But then when I moved to the Midwest, it wasn't working because where I lived, they just don't invest in themselves. Okay, they just don't. And I thought after 2 years of just a beast, because I am out there all the time and juggling the kids and everything, finally I just thought, this is not going to work. I've really done my best here because I'm a beast. I thought 2 years is a long time to really not get a lot of clients. So I need to fix something. And I woke up one morning and I thought, if not now, when? I need to get online and I need to figure this out. And I thought that meant ads. So I got online. I paid 10K on 3 different credit cards because, I keep betting on myself. And that's one of my gifts is that I keep betting on myself because in the back of my mind, I knew that I was, made for more, let's just say. People say that a lot. I thought, okay, I haven't figured this out. And I'm not going to figure it out on my own because there's no new knowledge coming in. And when I got into this program, it became clear to me that ads were not going to work. I thought, oh, okay, this is not going to work for me. They said, okay, great. No, it won't. I said, okay, what do I do? They said, do organic. I said, what do you mean, like carrots? And they said, no, not carrots. I didn't know what that meant. They said, you can get clients without ads online. I said, really? How do you do that? Like SEO? They said, no, it's not SEO. They said, I said, great. Well, where are the trainings? I said, there aren't any trainings. I said, what do I do then? They said, just go talk to people. Just to get rid of me. Just go talk to people. And I thought, well, that's not very good coaching, but I have to do this because now I'd plunked down another 10. I was so in debt. It was just another 10K, I guess. But I realized that it didn't work. What do I do? It was that I'd run out of options because the offline, I wasn't going to go back. So cut the cords there because that wasn't going to work. And I just talked to 900 people on Facebook, just 900 in 8 weeks. I was a beast. I just thought I've got to figure out how this is going to work. What do people need? What are their struggles? And after 18 sales calls and 900 conversations, I finally figured out, oh, coaches and consultants desperately need help. They don't know how to get clients. So
Right.
I'm going to figure this out for myself, and then I'm going to help them. So I got my first client. He asked me if I had any, testimonials for this. I said, nope, you would be my first client for this, but I've been coaching for 8 years. He went, oh, well, I really like you. So I'm going to hire you. I'm just going to take a bet. He got his first 30K client immediately. So then I could say, hey, here's a client. I just helped him get a 30K client. So then it just grew like wildfire because people couldn't believe this woman that just turned up out of nowhere, who had no followers, no nothing. They couldn't find me. They said, what is going on? So I started just getting a flood of clients because I figured it was a eureka moment. I thought this works. And I figured out how to do this simply, quickly, and with no fuss because that's my talent, is making things so simple. So I did all that. And then later on, I did test ads, and I sunk 100K in, just all sorts of ads. I thought I'd test YouTube ads. I tested Facebook ads many times, many different digital marketers, Instagram ads many times, LinkedIn, you name it. I tried it. They don't work well, okay, anymore. So, but at least I've done the test and I can tell people. So that happened. I got online and it was just one client by one client by one. I got to $1 million on my own with absolutely hardly any help.
Wow. That is an amazing
It's
story.
possible. And that's what's amazing about this, is that I proved that this is possible. And it was at a very high profit. So most businesses that are doing $1 million at 92% profit, they would have to make about 4 million
Yeah.
to get the actual profit that I got. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So it was actually, for anybody else, it would have been a way more than 1 million because of how much profit I got. So I was just like, wow, I've just got to help more people. So we were just on fire. And so since 6 years, it's been dialed in for 5. We figured out other things like how to monetize a podcast now, speaking gigs, but mainly it's still organic social media marketing. But in the meantime, I've also figured out other stuff because, of course, I've progressed. So it's been a great ride. I'm super grateful. And we've just helped a lot of people.
I love that story. So I have a couple of questions I want to go back. So with that first client, did you charge him full price or did you give him a discount?
Absolutely not full price. Absolutely full price. That
Really?
is one of my core beliefs is people, they want to start a business, but their mindset is, oh, I'm just going to give a discount. You're already behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
You're already, no discounts, no coaching for free, no betas. And we have helped so many people stop the betas, stop the discounts. Because when you just say, I am worthy and ready right now, we have people that have never coached before and their starting offer is $4,500
Mhm.
off the bat.
Yeah.
Never coached before. But then I wish I'd known this because my coach when I first started was, I was charging $80 a session. I never should have been doing that. I should have just, but she didn't know how to help me.
Mhm.
Okay. Now I do know how to help people. So when they go, I'm just going to do a beta, I say, no beta. No, no, no beta. You're worth too much. Nope. And like, okay. No, because it was immediately, but I knew I'd already been coaching for 8 years. There's no way I was going to discount my services.
Mhm.
No way, even though it was a new offer. So, no, I mean, this is it. That's what it goes. And then we were just like hotcakes. Kept people coming in, we started building I have an enormous testimonials page. It just goes on for a mile. So we started just building that. So it was working. And they're like, how are you doing this? No ads. I love it. It's so easy. Also, I think the fact that people could see I was experienced in life,
Mhm.
that also gave some authority that I wasn't some 20-year-old girl that like learned a trick online.
Yeah. And yeah. Okay, so then how did you get your clients? Was it the 900 conversations? Did more people show interest or
No, actually, those 900 conversations, guess how many clients I got from those 900?
one?
One.
Right.
Yes, because I'd already done the 900 and I'd been through 17 sales calls, wondering why I wasn't working because I didn't have my market dialed in yet. And
Mhm.
then I got one client, but I
Wow.
learned a lot. I
Wow.
learned a lot from all those to be able to teach people what doesn't work, what does work, and exactly what to do. And then actually, I got one client and I got 2 more on the same week, 3 clients in 1 week. So that's why it just was a windfall. And it just was coming in.
What was it from social media that you were getting them or
All social media, because
okay.
what I teach is organic social media marketing. So
Okay.
it's all social media. That was all on Facebook, by the way. I conquered Facebook, made so much money. Then I added LinkedIn, learned how to do that well. Then I did things one at a time.
Yeah.
Integrate.
Mhm.
Then I integrated Instagram. And so there were different times, like most of my clients were from Instagram at one point,
Yeah.
and then,
Mhm.
all of them were from Facebook. And then it was a mix between Facebook and LinkedIn. And then it was ton from Instagram, but still some Facebook and LinkedIn. Quite frankly, what works the best right now is LinkedIn
Okay.
because the others have really shrunk what you can do.
Yeah.
It's not what it used to be.
See, it's very interesting because I'm hearing that a lot. Most of the people that I interview right now, all of it's done on LinkedIn. It's not,
It,
it's more of a
it's so
professional,
much easier and it's
well,
so much easier to get help too.
higher caliber. I shouldn't say that. That's not
Well,
nice.
no, I mean, some of it
Good
is
business professionals.
business professionals and some of it is higher caliber. Some people are on all, but generally, if you're just going for an Insta crowd, it's not going to be like I only coach high achievers now.
Right.
So high achievers, a lot of them were in high achieving corporate roles or
Mhm.
CEOs or in private equity and they've decided to be coaches or consultants. I'd say probably most, not all. I have some actually well-known consultants that are bona fide and already do very well. They want to do better. So they come to me. But then I have new. So it's a mix and there's not like a rule. Some people just say, "Hey, I want to be a coach. Can you help me?" I say, "Sure, let's do that.
Mhm.
Let's figure that out." Because most people don't need a certification for most types of coaching.
Right.
You really don't. Yeah,
The amount of money I've spent on coaches that I have not certified at all. So,
right. Exactly.
yeah. Okay, so we've talked about how you got started, how it worked for you, and what you do. What are
Mhm.
some things that you've learned that you wish you would have known when you started out?
I wish that I'd gotten online immediately 13 years ago when I started my business, because I would probably be a billionaire by now. I can't, or many, 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 many millionaire because
Mhm.
ads were working then.
Yeah.
13 years ago, they were working. But I
Mhm.
was like, oh, I don't know. The whole online thing kind of scared me. And unfortunately, the coach that I hired didn't know about that. And she was afraid to be on video, she told me. It wasn't the right coach for me. I think you instill your fears into your clients. Well, I don't want to do. And I
Mhm.
thought, okay, this is the only coach that I knew. I didn't know how to do that. So my thing to everybody is immediately, and we're all online. I mean, I was online, but I mean, I wasn't using it as a tool. I wish that I had actually used online as a tool and just ran the ads because they would have worked then. So
Mhm.
it's the biggest regret of my business is I didn't just get on and just start running ads. But I didn't have a lot of money, so I was like, I have no budget. But I should have just done it just to test them, and they would have worked because the ads did work then. And also even the organic marketing, I wish I'd gotten on a long time ago. But you know what? You live and learn, and I learned a lot in the absence of that success that does help my clients now. I see that. I make a lot of money, so I'm not like, oh, I wish I had more. I'm good. Obviously, we're building, but it's not a huge regret. I guess I think it's the regret more about the pain I went through,
Mhm.
of the pain of not working, of it not working, and the pain of the hustle with my kids and all that. That I could have done without some of that, to be honest.
Mhm.
To be honest.
Well, yeah. Okay, so obviously you have millions under your belt, and how big is your team now? And when did you hire your first person?
I hired my first person a few months in, and it was a part-time
Okay.
VA from the Philippines.
Okay.
Literally, very little was done by, I was just a beast. I just thought I couldn't take the time to stop and build my team because you lose money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm about momentum, and I know very well that people that stop when they're on a roll don't stop. Just do more for now, right? And then when you get a bit of a space, then you hire somebody because I worked out if I take time off, I'm going to actually lose money. So I quickly, the guy was doing a little bit, but it was really mostly me and a little bit of VA action. At one point, I had like 7 virtual people working with me. Now I have about 3. I
Mhm.
do need like, in some ways, I won't be needing that many more because I am using AI. And we're going through and using AI for just automations within the back end.
Mhm.
So I'm just going through my whole business and seeing what we can do without hiring new people for just little tasks. But I do probably need to hire another couple. I sort of cleaned out some people
Mhm.
because I'm big on firing people when they're not doing a good job.
Yeah.
So, I just sort of culled a bit and I pulled it back and now I'm just building one by one team members that are good. I have 3 good team members now, 4 actually. So yeah, actually 4. So I probably need another 2.
Do you go through a service to hire them, or do you hire them on your own?
No, I do it myself because I used to be a recruiter,
Mm-hmm.
and I just feel when you go through people, for me, it's just not going to be, I want to see them. It takes just as long for me to go do the interviews as somebody doing it first and then passing it on to me because I still going to have to do the interview
Yep.
in the end because I'm never going to hire somebody else found for me.
Right.
So yeah.
Yep. I think you and I are on the same page with that. Let's talk about social media and the paid ads
Hmm.
because things have changed, as you said. And
Hmm.
I know a lady that she spent 50 grand. She got probably a little over 10,000 people to sign up, but only 1,000 showed up. So,
Right.
and
And then how much money did she make from that?
you know what? I need to ask her because she hadn't, the last time I talked with her, she hadn't pitched it yet.
Oh,
Her
okay. Well,
offer. So I'm going to
the
ask her.
important thing is the ROI. So
Mhm.
when you're saying 50K, and I'm thinking, okay, what's her offer? Is it a 50K offer?
It's a
Because if
thousand.
she said 50K and she has a 50K offer and she sells 3, she's winning.
Yeah, no, I think it was $1,000 program. So,
Okay, well then that's not good. Spend 50K on a campaign
yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but she did get how many people? 1,000 people to sign up?
Yeah. Well, 1,000 people showed up.
Showed up.
And
Well, that's pretty good.
yeah, yeah. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, 14,000 signed up. So,
Okay, 14,000, but 1,000 turned up.
mhm.
Well, if she got 1,000 signs, well, if she got, 1,000 turning up and 150 bought, she's still winning. She made $150,000 for 50K.
Yeah.
Is
Yep.
it a deliverable thing or she has to coach?
Uh, I, so it's coaching, but it's evergreen coaching.
Okay, but she's still turning up and coaching people.
Weekly. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Well, then, if it were a deliverable product, she's really winning if even if she just sells double. So I'd be interested. You should ask her how many people signed up and what did you make from that investment?
Okay.
Now, the other thing is she does have people on her mailing list now. So that's
Right.
good.
Oh, she's got a huge mailing list.
Right. Okay. Well, good. Well, I'd be curious to see what that brought in the end in sales.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll find out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that that's the part. I mean, I remember 5 years ago when I started with social media, with my real estate background. In 3 months, I had built it up to like 2 million people that had seen my ads, seen the things that I
Mm-hmm.
was retargeting. And
Mm-hmm.
then, as you know, in Facebook, if you don't touch that list for 6 months, you lose it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in the middle of a move, and I lost it. And so, as I've started to do it again, it's a
Mm-hmm.
little longer to get that many people again.
It's a lot longer. What did you spend on that?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question because it wasn't very much because I was doing like $10 for 2 days or something.
You got 2 million people in because it's so broad, I guess.
Well, it was in my market, so like, that was
Okay.
the
Well,
conversion.
those are pretty good numbers. That's awesome.
No, it was really good
Did you
numbers.
make any money from that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Oh,
it
well, then that sounds
definitely.
like a really good investment.
Yeah, more
Hmm.
than. Oh yeah, it totally
No,
did. And the
no,
coach.
for sure, ads can work, but I'm talking about for coaches.
Yeah,
Ads can work for selling mattresses, actually.
right.
Apparently, that works really well. But if it's a broad thing, like if it's, repairing your credit, everybody needs that.
Yeah,
So ads work for that because it gets anybody in, right?
that's true.
But not everybody's a coach, so it's hard. It's a very flooded market.
It very flooded.
Yes.
Okay. So let's switch gears for a minute because our time's almost up. And so you are a single mom or are a single mom. How
Hmm.
did you juggle?
I actually don't know. I
Oh,
don't think that was balance. I think it was just getting through the day. My life was just one machine. It was okay. And I was homeschooling for part of that time, believe it or not. And then just couldn't do that anymore. But it was just really about, okay, take care of the kids, make sure we get the groceries. We're doing basically we had I had to have fun for them. So we'd have outings. And then there was me working and then taking them to their lessons and all sorts of stuff. The ballet at one point and chess and basketball and piano and singing. And, they did a lot because I
mhm.
didn't want them ever to lack. And I remember thinking, one day I will make it. And I don't want to look back and think that they didn't get what they needed
Right.
education wise experience. So I feel great about that, actually. I really do. I really made the right decision there and I have zero regrets. Zero. I never skimped on their trainings or anything for the development because I just refused. So that came first. their personal development, everything. So there was just, when I look at it, it was just every day. And then I was taking them to school. So then I got some work time, and then they come back, and then we'd have dinner and then help with homework and then maybe do something fun and then school. And then we go to church on Sundays, and then we'd have brunch and do something fun or go visit friends. And then there was all the sporting stuff and this and just all, I didn't have a social life, of course. Yeah. And I didn't care. Then I was fitting in the networking, and I'd get a babysitter come and go network. And then it was just, sometimes I'd network when they were at school, and sometimes I'd drop them off at my sister-in-law's just for a few hours. And so it was just, well, in New York, I had nobody. It was me on subways just working this all out with some babysitters. It was just I got very good at time management. Very good. So much so that my very first course was about productivity, because I could get more done in 4 hours than anybody I know, because I would just sit down and just get through it. And then it was cleaning of the house and all that stuff, taking care of the car. There's all that stuff that guys usually do that I do. So honestly, when people say, how did you do that? I try to look back, and then I'm reading their bedtime stories and cooking and cleaning and dishes and everything, and then getting them in bed and then going back and working till midnight. When I first started my business, when I was still in New York, for 2 years, they would get me up at 7. I'd take care of them all day. There at the park, I could be doing a little bit of texting, maybe, or listening to trainings or something while I was watching them, because they were very active and I couldn't just sit on a bench. And then I'd go home, get dinner, bath, read to them, put them in bed. And at 7, they were in bed. Okay. And I worked from 7 till midnight every single night except 4 weekends for 2 solid years. I gave myself 2 weekend nights because I was, doing errands and everything. And I thought, I got to give myself a break. But I didn't take a minute to entertain myself. I didn't have a TV then. I didn't do anything that was fun at all. Because I remember thinking, I can't go watch Netflix because I should be working. And then after about a year and a half, I thought, okay, Jeanne, let yourself watch 1 episode of 1 show per week, and that's your treat. Now, I was very disciplined because I fully understood there were a certain number of hours. If I didn't get 25 hours of work done in a week, there's no way I could even start to build a business. So my thing was, and then after a while, I'd have a babysitter come in for a few hours, like 2 or 3 hours, and then I'd get some work done. And then, so I did get a break when the baby wasn't a little baby anymore. So I think when she was 2 or 3, I said, okay, let's have the babysitter come in and take him out to the park for a few hours and get me some more work time. So then I could do more than the 5 hours at night. I could do like 7 hours a day.
It's the sacrifices and things we do as a mom that, you are in overload period. I remember when I was going through my master's program, working full time, and I had 3 kids under 3.
That's hard.
But I did it, survived, all's well that ends well. But I think, or even as I was divorced, going through all that, I was on this mission. I didn't need my husband at the time. And so I think that we find that. But did you get burned out eventually? Like, okay, I'm tired. Or are you the type that you're the Energizer Bunny and you can keep going?
Well, the thing is, I had the point is I was not allowed to burn out.
Okay.
There's no option.
Right.
When there's no backup, so the option of that is why I took weekends off. And on Sunday, I would just do some planning for the week, but that is why I didn't work every single night. I thought if I don't take 2 nights off a week and just relax with my kids and watch Little House on the Prairie, because that's what I let them watch, 1 episode per week. They didn't watch TV either. I was pretty strict about that. I wanted them to paint and read. And I'm so glad, because they haven't had cell phones the whole time. That's another whole thing. But the point is, I didn't stick my kids in front of a TV ever. So I was also not just sticking them in front of the TV like a lot of people just to babysit. I never did that. My friends were like, why don't you I said, no, I'm never going to stick my kids in front of a TV and no. So I was pretty hardcore in how I wanted to mother too. It wasn't just getting along. It was like, I'm going to do it my way and I'm just going to do it. So no, I never burnt out, because I always understood I got to take a day off here. We go to church and we just spend the rest of the day just hanging out. So that's why I didn't burn out, and I don't believe in burnout for me. It's just not something that I'm going to let happen, because I would stop before that happens, or I'd ease off a bit. But it was go, go, go. And I was very sleep deprived too. So that just makes it really hard to function when you're just every day tired because the kids are keeping you up. And then I didn't have 6 kids like some solo parents who working 5 jobs. So when people would say to me, how do you do that? I'd say, well, it's not like that woman I heard about in Queens that has 6 kids and 4 jobs. So who am I to complain? And they'd be like, okay, because there's always somebody worse off than you.
That's true. Yeah.
Always. It's always harder for somebody else. So I was thinking, I'm actually pretty lucky that I don't, it's not that. It could be worse. So was it tiring? Yes, completely tiring. And I just did it. And I feel like I did achieve a lot because I did keep it going and it just seemed like a machine. Yeah.
Okay, so one lesson that if you're sitting on a park bench and this 9-month pregnant woman comes up and she sits next to you and you go through all of the years you as a mother, what is one piece of advice you would give that mother? And it doesn't have to be just as a new mom.
It would be build something on your own. Do something other than bringing the kids up. Because even though we know that's a big job and it's a career, you always want to have something for yourself, something that you're creating, whether it's a business or whether it's a hobby, or do something that's a project beyond the husband and the kids. And I'm not saying not to be a good wife. I'm not saying not to be a good mom. I'm saying moms need another little thing, or big thing. So if they're not business people, great, don't. But if you're ambitious and you had a highfalutin job, yeah, maybe you want to start like a little business on the side to keep you energized, because it actually energizes more to have something as well that it's different from child care. Is just the same thing every day. It's not, it's right. So it's good to have something, whether that is you want to become a painter, like you always wanted to become a painter on the side and do art, or something else so that you don't get frustrated.
And that's the purpose of this podcast. So
Right.
very, very true. I love that. All right. There's so many things that I wanted to talk to you about, but our time is up. And so you have an award that you showed me while we were talking before. And
Yes,
so
I'll
to
show
share
you if they're watching this.
Yep.
So this is for my podcast. It's the YouTube Silver Play Award when you get 100,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm at 100. I think I'm at about 100. I have to check. I think it's about 178,000 now, something like that.
Wow. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
So it works. What you're doing works. And so I love that. So if our listeners wanted to work with you or, find you, how would they do that?
There's JeanneOmlor.com/reviews. That's when you can see all of our client work. You can find me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I mean, I'm all over the place, but LinkedIn is probably the place that's easier to get a message to me because there's so much noise on the other places. Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, you're welcome. Pleasure to be here.
And moms, unbreakable entrepreneurs, I hope that you, as you're listening today, that it can be done. Find your passion, find your purpose, and being a mother is like no other gift that we've ever been given, but also doing something for yourself is important. So if you're having some struggles or you don't really know or you're not sure what to do, then reach out to one of us and go out and make it a great day. Beautiful moms, remember, you are unbreakable. Keep illuminating the world with your strength, pursuing your dreams, and reveling in the splendor of motherhood. This is Charisse Walker, bidding you farewell for now. Stay tuned for more empowering conversations on the next episode of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. Until then, keep shining bright. Signing off with love, Charisse Walker.